Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's what it is.
It's time to get inappropriate. Air for funny naked now.
It's time to get inappropriate. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And we're back again with another beautiful podcast episode. Back for the second time in a row. Cousin, brother Phil.
Hi, everybody.
I always like how you do 2 episodes in a row, Phil. It's always nice.
I mean, if the people want it. And for anybody who is new listening and hasn't gone back to see, we call cousin brother Phil, he's my brother. Steve accidentally called him my cousin, which came into the very quick joke, cousin brother Phil. And so that's how he got his name, cousin brother Phil. But for all our new listeners,
it sticks. Might as well work with it.
Sticks works.
I know.
Sometimes I get the West Virginia type of vibe from it, but it's all right.
Yeah, I understand how that can happen.
So here we are back again in the second episode of the new studio, and we're just cranking them out, Steve.
We are. We're just rocking and rolling.
Putting the classics out.
Yep.
So thank you, everybody, for sticking with us for, this might be, I don't have it in front of me, but maybe our 96th or 7th episode. And we are...
Which is fucking crazy.
We're
me.
cranking
It is crazy.
a little bit closer to 100. I honestly don't know how we've come this far.
Commitment.
You and I.
Hard work and
It's
dedication.
you. It's you, then I, and then
Me.
then Phil.
Phil is the glue.
Phil's closely getting towards Joe level.
Everybody had this cool entrance, and I'm back once again, cause brother Phil. Here's Jim. Here's Steve. Here's fucking Phil.
Give the people what they want. Give them
You can't relive magic. It just it works at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I guess
it's
so.
okay. I'll work
would-
myself into it. All right.
Would you have done it?
Fuck
Zero
yeah.
chance.
Why
No,
not?
bullshit.
You won't do it now.
You didn't even do like the Aussie when we were doing the Australian accents. You didn't do them.
Australian accent? Who the fuck did
Remember
Australian?
your- like your
we tried
first-
to get you to do it.
No, I ain't doing that. Fucking Australian. I'm not fucking Australian.
He doesn't even remember. He's been here. Well, actually, this is your 6th episode.
Yeah,
He's-
it's your
he's-
sixth
Fuck out
episode.
of here. Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
He's damn near a co-host. Like he's like, instead of a guest, he's like a guest host.
I know
now.
it can start becoming the
I ain't got commitment like
the
that.
Jim, Phil, Steve show. I don't mind third billing.
Jim, Steve, sometimes every once in a while, Phil. It works better that way. People might not want me that goddamn much anyways. You know what I mean? It probably works out best
He's
for
an acquired
everybody.
taste.
Right.
He's a delicacy.
Yeah, every once in a while is good. Too much, make you sick.
Well, what do we got today?
A few of our past shows we have talked about marriage and relationships and women and men and so forth. So I have this unfortunate story of a bride divorcing her husband on the wedding day.
These are great stories, though.
So
They really, some of them are pretty awesome.
and I want your guys' opinion when we get to it as to was it warranted? Was she in the right, or did that guy actually dodge a bullet? So we'll get to that in a little bit later. But first, what you got, Steve?
We just recently went through inventory at work, and it's been a nightmare, and there's been some fucking crazy things that happen, which leads me. Do you have anything about it?
I do. I wanted to cut you off, but you haven't been very chatty in the chat.
Yes.
And
yes.
so much so that our previous co-host, Joe, if for our lifelong listeners, remember from the Jim, Joe, Steve show, Joe messaged me today and said, "Hey, man, is Steve okay? He hasn't been chatting in the chat lately." And I said, I think he's all right. I think he's just actually working when he's at work.
Yes, I've been very busy at work, so I don't even look at my phone. I'm almost, I'm the Joe of our our chat. So yeah, nothing's wrong. I just have been extremely busy at work.
Do you hear that? His bosses, he's been so busy at work. He doesn't
They're
even
gonna.
pick
They
up his
want
cell
to.
phone.
They listen. So
Is it great? He's been so busy at work.
Yeah.
So busy.
So busy. But that also leads me into my brag, though.
Oh, let's get into this brag.
All right. My brag goes out to one of my coworkers, Wade. I'm not going to say his last name.
Let's go ahead. Put that bad boy out
Wade
there.
Schweitzer, who had one of the best inadvertent jokes I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, we're all about jokes.
yeah.
I like a good joke.
Yes.
It is a comedy show.
So allow me to set the stage.
Okay.
All right. So in inventory, you count everything. All right. And I work.
I'm with you so far.
All right. You guys understand?
Haven't lost me yet.
We had to count like 5 million parts. Ooh. All right. Multiples of each thing. It's a fucking nightmare.
How many times do you forget count and just pick up at a number that you really have to?
Because my bosses listen, 0.
That never happened.
Forgot about that part.
Never happened.
Right.
But-
At one point.
Can we get your bosses to play us on a loudspeaker? Every Wednesday morning.
I'm sure they will. They have, when they found out.
Actually, you know what? No. Make everybody listen to it on their personal devices so it
Yeah,
counts
yeah.
more listens.
They've
the ratings.
definitely listened to different episodes, so they know like a lot of shit about me. So
Well, you're still hired.
Now, are
so-
you cool with that?
I have the cool, like, I'm not just bullshitting, but I have the coolest bosses.
Right.
So
Well, I'm just
like,
talking about the
went
people
to
you work with too, though. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you don't like,
I mean, I pick and choose my battles.
Right.
Like, I'm not
gotcha.
going to say it to everybody, but
Yeah.
people that I know can get the joke.
Right.
Like, I'm all good with it.
Gotcha.
They brought it up in our team meeting. They were like, "Are you going to talk about this during your podcast?" I was like, "Probably."
State, you're going to have to listen and find out.
Yeah, I know. They pair you up with people that you don't really know.
So you don't bullshit?
So you don't bullshit. Yeah. So they pair you up with different people. Wade was paired up with a girl who he's just, small talk conversation. And she starts talking about that the Earth's flat.
How'd you even get this job?
right.
So
all she has to do is count.
yeah.
Wrong with that.
No. So she is going through explaining to him that the Earth's flat. He is the last person in the world that you want to say this to because it just enrages him. So he's getting fucking pissed off at this girl because she's talking about how the Earth's flat, and she was like, "I just don't understand. So you're telling me that we can build rockets that can go up into space and there's shit up there?" And she's like, "I just don't understand how that happens." His response was, "You literally work for a fucking aerospace company." And it made me laugh so much because and I just wanted to shout out to him for a good insult.
I've always thought Wade would be a good guest.
Yeah, he won't come on though.
Why not?
I've asked him.
Is he just...
Because all his fucking coworkers are listening.
I will say, God, I had a good story about Wade though. I don't understand why this has bothered me for fucking so long, but it really has. All right. Do you remember Craigslist personals? I don't even know if it's still a thing.
Phil's never been an internet guy.
All right. So on
I know about it.
on
you know what I mean?
Craigslist,
Yeah.
I've heard of Craig.
I heard people getting murdered off of them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
well, that's probably not going to fare well in this conversation. But Craigslist personals would basically be like someone that would
No,
say,
are you talking about misconnection?
Misconnections was the thing. Misconnections was basically like, I was at Dunkin' Donuts today,
Right.
and I saw a guy with a beard. You were wearing a company logo shirt. You were really cute. I'd like to meet with you. If you see this, what's the name of your company that you work for?
And then if you saw it, you were like, oh, that was me.
Yeah, she
maybe
would
I'll
say-
message this person. Maybe she was hot. Right. It's about people.
It's pretty fucking complicated. No wonder. I'm
The
doing
odds
this shit.
of you
Finding
seeing
that
somebody like, oh, you were the cute barista at Starbucks on Ocean Parkway at 9:00. I was the guy in the funny glasses and hat.
See, but
know,
that's
It's a very chance encounter.
I just take that memory home with me when I close my eyes. And I just want.
Some people take that memory and they want to turn it into a reality.
Right.
Yes,
No,
yes.
And they throw that out into the world and maybe it comes back. But I would say 1% chance.
Yeah,
1%. I mean, maybe less than that.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There was a message on Misconnections that said, if you were driving this convertible, described him, and your license plate said Wade, which was like Weighed. Like, it was just spelled different. That was that was just something fucking funny for his.
And
Wade
has a look.
Yes,
like,
he has
he's a very like. You're not gonna go. Nah, I don't think I've ever met you before. You meet Wade, and he's got a lot of tattoos. He's got a style about him. You know you've met him before.
And this person posted this on Misconnections, and I would always look at Misconnections because it was just so funny. It was so funny to me. I saw this, and I messaged Wade, and I say, "Dude, there's somebody on Misconnections on Craigslist looking for you," and I sent him the post, and he's like, "Fuck you, that's you." It's not me. I swear to God. And to this day, this motherfucker will not believe me that it's not me. And it was never me. And it could have been Carmen Electra. It could have been Pamela Anderson.
The love of his life.
It could have been the love of his life.
But did he really have this license plate that said...
It was him.
It was definitely him?
It was 100% him. And it's so funny because it's like the wolf that cried... sheep.
Oh yeah, because you used to do that to people.
Yeah,
that same exact prank.
I would fuck with people. It fucked me.
You've done it a couple times, like to Joe. I know that you've done.
Yeah, I put stuff on Craigslist that he's done it to me.
Yeah, so he's done it to you.
He's done it to me where I'm selling something for free, and then I get phone calls to my phone, and it was like an ongoing thing, and I never. But to this day, it still bothers me that I still don't know.
Why didn't you answer it for him?
I was going to say that. Why don't you be like, "Hey, I'm Wade"?
Yeah,
like because you could describe him.
Not my place.
But
I wanted it to be real. I wanted it to be. I didn't feel the connection. I just connected the misconnection.
You got to line it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I thought I did by.
You got to be the engineer that makes South meets North. It's love.
Is Wade married?
No, he has a longtime girlfriend.
Okay, well then it all worked out.
Maybe it was her, and it just coincidentally they.
Don't you think she would have said something to him like, "Hey"?
I saw you.
I would love it if it was her.
I saw you.
I would feel.
And then she never said anything.
Do you know there's Miss
I saw you in your Sunfire. Fucking sexy.
Do you know how you have lost loves in your life? Like it's just like it just didn't work out. Blah blah blah. That person is my lost love to Wade. Like I
feel the sun for him.
Third person lost love.
I love. I mean his girlfriend.
Late at night, he lays in bed thinking, "What could it be?"
His girlfriend's awesome.
Could Wade be any happier than he is right now?
I think about it all the time. I was just like,
"Hey Wade, you're my bro."
What could I have said differently to make him believe that it wasn't me?
Dude, there was a show on Netflix. The concept of it was so crazy. I can't believe it didn't get more rave reviews. The concept was they came up with this program. Somehow they found out that ants, they mate biologically based off of DNA. When an ant is born, another ant is born somewhere, and those two are mates. They're
like
just
and they find each other.
They find each other.
Oh, shit.
So, and I don't know how true that is, if they used a little speck of truth for this. But anyway, so they found out how that works, and found out that there's a certain part of humans as well. So they had basically it was a dating service. So it wasn't actually dating, but kind of like the 23andMe, the Ancestry, where you can swab yourself,
right?
And you send it in, and it would tell you who your actual soulmate was, wherever they are in the world, right? And the question was, obviously a lot of people were in relationships or married. If that type of service came out, like if you could find your absolute true soulmate, would you go through with this service? And that was kind of the show. And some people did, and some people held off, and it broke up like marriages all across the world. But then also it created marriages, but then also it created like existential depression because some people did it and they found out that their soulmate had already died. So they
like it was like an actual person.
What's up?
Like it wasn't a type of person.
No.
It was just
a specific person. There's one person that you were meant.
Sally
for.
Johnston from Riverdale, Phoenix, Arizona.
And it could be, and some,
Yeah.
and some of it was like somebody in the United States, but their soulmate actually was like lived in India, didn't even speak English. You know what I mean? And people would meet up, and then some people would find out that their soulmate had died, and they will never get the true feeling that some other people were able to get by meeting their soul. It was such a crazy concept.
Exact feeling my wife goes through every day when she fucking wakes up. I see it in her face.
Did I marry my soulmate? Is there?
I see it in her face every day. She rolls over, looks at me. Ugh, him again.
This fucking guy again. 24 more hours of this guy.
Fuck this guy.
Fucking breathing heavy on me.
Snoring, your fucking voice, your raspy voice.
She just like wakes up and looks up at the ceiling and like, this motherfucker.
Where's the fucking Clorox?
But I thought like that concept of the show was so great, and I guess it just didn't do the numbers because they didn't.
Pretty crazy though if it really was though.
Right.
But what happens if you met him and like you knew you were destined to be together, but you couldn't stand that person?
That kind of leads me into my story. This loving, doting new bride and husband. Okay, they had their wedding, and while some weddings do run smoothly, we have friends that have weddings nights didn't go exactly smooth.
It's a work in progress.
For one bride, her big day was completely ruined when her new husband pulled a bizarre and disrespectful stunt that left her feeling violated. The bride was.
I know it's not going to be that bad.
The bride was so horrified by her partner's actions that she called for a divorce the next day after she had revealed that he had broken one of her rules when he rubbed the wedding cake in her face. When she knew that it was time to cut it off.
Holy shit.
That's fucking
And she
bullshit.
divorced homeboy because
He smashed it in her face.
smashed the cake.
Dude,
He
they're
probably
wedding.
drops her load on her face every goddamn night. She can't have a little cream pie in her fucking nostrils. What is wrong with you?
Did you do the smash the cake?
All right, so my wife took it to a little extreme. I tried to be nice. I wasn't going to do it. No, well, she thought about it. But she got me. I was like, I was going to be nice.
So you were gonna go the romantic
I was
route.
just going to let her eat it. You know what I mean? I had a feeling she was going to go dirty. That's what she does. And she smashed it. And it got like all up in my, I think it tickled my brain. Right? But the greatest part, I'm sitting there like, wanting to be mean at the time, but we're married.
He close-fisted with her.
I wanted to snot rocket it back onto her, you know what I mean? But I didn't do it. But the lady who was working our wedding came up to me, and I was like, I got all the damn cake in my nose. And she had these long nails on, and she literally took her fingernail and dug it in my nose and pulled it out and wiped my face off. And she said, there you go, hon. I was like, did you just stick your fingernail in my nose? And she was like, yep. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, you get a big old tip, girl.
She had a little blip on that fingernail.
Yeah, fucking nummies serving me up. Yeah, little pick me up.
Nicole, you and Nicole didn't do that.
When Phil's telling the story, I was trying to remember if we went the gracious route. Or
We were at your wedding.
I don't remember smashing or being smashed.
I don't think you did.
So I don't. And if we did, it was probably smash light. You know
I
what I
seriously
mean?
doubt you smashed anything in Nicole's face.
I fucking smashed it. Let me tell you what.
Never mind.
But yeah, no, I think she's going to be on soon. So we'll have to get some clarification for the listeners.
This will be the first time
She's never been on.
Yeah,
She was actually going to come on our first last week, but I mentioned that you were coming on, and she's like, "Fuck that, I ain't coming on."
Now,
her own brother-in-law, she's like, "Fuck that."
Will that get you in trouble if you don't remember?
I guess we're gonna have to find out.
In a couple weeks when she's on. She's still mad. Won't talk to me.
I know for a fact I don't think we did. Well, I said I know for a fact I don't think we did.
Right.
If we did, it would kind of have gone like with Phil, where I wouldn't have been the initiate because I could have took a razor blade to my tux. I wouldn't have given a shit, right? Like you could have doused me in fucking motor oil.
But you know the messed up part about it is...
What did you do with your tux? You returned it.
Right.
Trying to hide the stains.
But you know the funny part about that, have you seen a bride's dress after a wedding? It's destroyed anyways from dragging on the ground, the amount of shit or whatever. People stepping on it, ripping it and everything. So... idiot fucking men, we're stupid.
But it's still...
the same thing.
They spend like fucking... 5 hours getting makeup on, and like from the thought of me smashing in her face, I wouldn't do it because I think that's the right move. I think that's the right move. You. But then, of course, like if they came at me first, I feel like then they're like saying it's fair game, right? Because then if you don't go back and smash it back in their face, then I feel like you're not playing the game. But you leave it up to them.
I think that's the right move because. Otherwise, you're just asking for trouble. Like if you smash it.
I think as a guy, if you take the initiative and like you're like, fuck you, you look like an asshole. Black eye. Do you know what I mean? Like if you get smashed and then you smash them, then it's like playful. But if you do it first, I feel like
picking up the whole cake and just
I feel like you come off as a little bit of a prick.
You spend $1,000 for that cake.
What's the DJ that launches the cake in people's faces? And
Aoki.
Yeah. You fucking launched
I saw one video of him. It was like 30 feet, and he
smashed.
And the guy's like up on somebody's shoulders and just
he whacked the shit out of him.
The guy was up on somebody's shoulders.
It was in slow motion too.
Steve Aoki, he's like a DJ who it's like this big sheet cake, and I guess he has a bit
big.
Dude. Yeah, you know, like a I don't know, 18 by 12 or something like that. You know,
probably like $100 at Herman's.
This bit where if it's your birthday or something, he'll throw a cake at you know, but he doesn't smash it, but he'll throw it in the audience, you know. And there was this one bit.
He probably charges so much to do that.
He's like up on, you know, the DJ podium, like probably 10, 15 feet up in the air, and then this guy's might be. It looked like maybe 20 people back, like 20 rows back, and he's up on somebody's shoulders, and he's got the sign that says "My birthday," and he launches it, and it's just fucking square in the face,
dead on.
From that far away, I don't know if that was
Manning type fucking precision. I mean,
you know what I mean? It was like a laser shot.
Exactly. Right. Whack out. Right.
It was a great.
Would you ever want to get hit in the face with a cake?
Sure. Like
depends on the situation.
When you go to a Steve Aoki concert and want to get
if that's the gig, if that's a bit,
because everybody you're walking out, you got cake on your You're the fucking guy.
You're the fucking cake face guy.
Hot chicks come licking up the icing off your face. When the Ravens won the first Super Bowl
in 2000,
we're at my buddy's house, and they were like, "Let's get a fucking limo and drive down to the city." I'm like, "You're not getting in the fucking city." So whatever, we all put them together. We got a limo, smoking blunts, drink beers in the bag and shit.
That limo driver
the guy was definitely
so
mad. He was so mad. He was like, "Don't smoke in the bag or cigarettes, whatever."
Sure.
Right, exactly.
Do you know where you picked us up from, bro?
Right, exactly. We just gave him a big old tip and whatever. But we got down into the city and we got down towards Canton, and it got to the point where you couldn't drive no more. So, but you're in a limo, you know. So we had the windows open, fucking whatever. So
trying out the hot box.
Well, I didn't give a shit at that time. You know, we were sitting there, so we're all hanging out or whatever. This chick comes up, she fucking tits right in the face. Blah! Chrissy's right next to me, right? And I'm like,
the wives love that. They love that.
I'm like, she was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I don't know. You know, she was like,
please, woman, put your breasts away.
Right. She's like, she stick her tits in her face. I'm like, yeah. Son of a bitch. And I got yelled at for being able to call her. You know what I mean?
Did you put your head in her tits?
She shoved it there. She called me by attack. Wasn't ready.
Did you say you put your hand up?
Actually, you know what's funny?
It wasn't the face. It was the fact that he stuck his tongue out and was like.
I had no choice. I was breathing for air. Like, oh, fuck. But I got another story about that shit. I don't know if I told it before.
Once is a coincidence.
Yeah, twice might be a problem.
So we were at what was it? Bohager's.
Nothing good ever happened at Bowhager's.
What was the one like right there in downtown Baltimore?
Where it had the dome thing?
Baja?
Was it
Baja Beach Club, the quarter bottle?
Quarter
No,
bottles?
not the dome thing down at Fellows Point.
That's Bowhager's.
That was Bowhager's, that
was
big
the-
white dome.
Okay, so what was
In
the
Power
one?
Plant, it
Yeah.
was Baja Beach Club.
Okay, Baja
quarter
Beach Club.
bottles. Quarter bottles.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there,
If
right?
you are born past 1994, you don't know what fucking quarter bottles is.
No.
Quarter
It was-
bottle beers up until I think 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
It
People
was
will be being dragged out of there by
Shit-faced.
fucking
It
10
was-
o'clock.
I'll give it $10.
it was
Go.
fucking awesome.
It was a show.
So we got there one time, and we used to hang out with this other couple, and the guy Jay used to like to drink, but he was one of the guys always used to try to get people extra drunk, so he'd buying shots and all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the type of guy who's like, yeah, I'll take the challenge. I'm drinking. So he comes up and he was like, shooter girl comes by.
Oh, like the nurse dressed up.
The exact girl.
There was only one nurse. And that
It might have been her. So he buys me a shot from the girl. She pulls the shot out and she's like, get on your knees. I'm like, And the guy, Jay's like, I already got a couple in me. So he's like, get on your fucking knees. Da, da, da. I'm like, all right. So I get on my knees. She puts the shot in between her tits, right? And she bends down and pours it in your mouth. While she's bending down, I'm seeing Chrissy walking my way. So the whole time, like drop my jaw's dropping, and I see this pair of titties with a shot coming around. So I take the shot, and I hear, donk. Chrissy walked by and smacked me in the head with a glass bottle. Once she saw it, and then I'm watching her, right? Because I see her coming, I see the bottle and everything. I'm like, shit, and I got the titties in my face, and I'm looking at everything that's going
Stars,
on.
all the stars.
Nah, I
you're
didn't
seeing.
even see stars. I just heard it. It was a dunk, and I was like, shit. I look up. She was like, "What the fuck?" And then the shooter girl's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." The guy Jay's over there laughing his ass off.
he orchestrated the whole thing. You're
The
supposed
whole
to,
thing, man.
hey, look at what your husband's
She still
doing.
brings that up to this day.
Do you remember Joe's bachelor party when we went to New Orleans?
I remember a lot of it.
Joe wouldn't want to say
yes.
he was the bachelor, and he would point to me because I was like the only single guy at the time. And he did it to one of those things where I mean, I'm trying to be polite. She was like a 2. Same scenario. Her breasts hung down to her knees, and she was like, "Let me put this shot in between them and give it to you."
Where
And
you gonna start?
She flopped them over my head and made me take this fucking shot.
She tied him around him.
And it was just like humiliation after humiliation after humiliation.
The one fun thing, it was early. It was daylight. We went but there was nobody there. Joe did the same thing. He said, "That's the bachelor," pointing to you, and you're like, "Yeah, I am." The bartender took off your shirt, and then threw it behind the bar, and it landed in a puddle of
Stale beer.
Puddle of stale
Yeah.
beer. And then she got on your back,
Yeah.
and made you walk around the bar on all fours.
Yeah. While whipping me with my belt.
You whipped your belt.
Yeah. I remember because I had to walk back, and I don't have a 6-pack, so I'm just walking back with no shirt and a stale shirt beer over my. I was in sweatpants too.
Yes, because it was early.
It was early because we just landed.
Right, we didn't even check in the hotel. That's why we were all like, yeah. Yeah. I'm not a strip club guy, but I remember in Atlantic City, and I don't know why I was in Atlantic City or what we were
Was
there.
it Drew's bachelor party?
Was it maybe
It
somebody?
was mine and Drew's.
Somebody got on stage,
Drew, I think.
and that girl
Whipped the shit out.
whipped the
I
shit.
think it was Drew though, because I don't think he would've
Maybe,
done
and
that.
then did the
He wouldn't
the
have done
typical
that.
stripper where they jump up in the air 6 feet and
Oh,
right on his
slam
crotch.
down on you it was
that?
not. I don't. But did you remember seeing it?
It was
Do you
brutal.
think that-
I felt
do you-
bad for that person. Yeah.
Maybe it was
no
Drew.
one can like that. It's
Nobody,
just
nobody. It's not for that person. It's for their friends to laugh.
Yeah.
It's for this right now
Right,
to talk
yeah,
about
right.
it because
After the fact.
there's zero. It's actually. It looked painful.
It's beat him bad with his belt.
I mean, you could hear people there was 3 guys on the stage, 2 of the guys that we didn't know, and they're screaming they're just. They're begging for mercy. They're just counting down
Stop
minutes,
it,
and the
please.
more they're screaming and
the
painting their
harder she's
face,
going.
the more she's going,
But
the
the
more his friends
elevation-
are cheering
the
about it.
elevation on the cock drop was brutal.
Insane.
Like, the whole crowd was like, oh.
And
she's
they
like
go
to
into
the top
like a
of their
split.
head.
Yeah,
And
they
slams
do
down.
it. She just like does a handstand on the chair and then just comes bam all the weight down.
Fucking
and you're
brutal.
like, what the fuck?
That's just, I mean, you got
It's
these.
theatrics.
Well, not only that, like that's just revenge. These girls get fucking jammed on.
They've had a little hard life, and it's like
no, and I still got to deal with these guys all day, groping on her, throwing money at her. So it's just a little payback for them.
I don't blame them. I mean, that's.
Well, you did choose that life too, though. So.
I had a quick funny story. I used to work with a guy. I may have told him on the podcast a long time ago, but I used to work with a guy named Nate. He was straight from Canada. I mean, would be like, the whole Canadian.
Do you know Canadian Jeff?
I mean, I don't know how big Canada's. Pretty big. They probably didn't know each other.
That's right there. It's
But,
big as Dallas.
He was telling me that when they used to go to the strip clubs, they used to you go there and they would give you tokens.
Oh, that is 100% true. Because
Yes.
I've been to a Canadian strip club.
And you would go cash in your money,
Yes.
and then you get at the door, you would get tokens. But they had to stop that because guys would just be beaming these coins at the strippers.
They put plexiglass up. I swear to God, they put plexiglass up for it.
We were at the strip club. What was it? The Ritz, the one down on Broadway.
I've been there one time. I think it was my
the
wife,
only
actually.
time I've fucking been there. So we go there, and I think we all had we were all underage. I think we all had fake IDs, or maybe I just turned 21 or whatever. So we're sitting there and we ran out of money. My buddy digs in his pockets and he's like, I got fucking change. And I was like, because there's a balcony. There's a lever
Yes,
on the top,
that's
you know what I mean?
right.
So we're sitting on top, and then this girl walks out, and I'm like, holy shit. It was the girl Jessica that used to live a couple doors down from me for a little bit. Like went to high school and shit. Like, she was dumb as a bag of bricks. You know, she was that type of girl. I mean, yeah, I think one time she sucked like 10 dudes' dicks. You know what I mean? Some shit like that. You know what I mean? She had that reputation.
In one night?
Like right after school, between 3 and 5. Before her fucking dad got home. You know what I mean? Like, so we're sitting there, and then me being an asshole young person, I was like, well, just fucking throw it at her. So we're just fucking throwing pennies at her the whole time. So yeah, I could see why they would ban that shit. A bunch of ignorant assholes.
In Canada, I went to a strip club, and that was the place where a girl did a dance, like because they do the coin thing,
Right.
So one of my boys bought me a dance in Canada, so she did it, and then the next song came on, and then she did it again, and I was like, oh, this girl must like me. Like I fell into that trap where she was just like, oh, I was like, this
Must
girl
be
really
like,
likes
this is
me.
a free
Buy me a
dance.
drink, buy me a drink.
Third dance came on, she kept dancing, and I was just like, oh, I was like, she's really into me. Fourth dance came through, and then the fifth dance came on, she kept going, and then she was like, do you have $100? And I was like, for what? And she was just
dances.
like, each dance, and I was like, what? And then, I'm like 20, I'm like 23, so it's
Right.
like it's
Right.
like
I was a lot of
$100
fucking money on
Yeah, so I was
top.
just like, I would just like, gave her $100. I was so fucking, and she said no tip, and I was just like, fuck you. You just hustled me.
So I got a story about strippers.
Get those ones ready and let's welcome cousin brother Phil to the stage.
So growing up, when me and Chrissy were, I don't know, it was early in the 20s. Not 1920s.
Early
20s, our 20s, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So we used to random couple strip clubs where we were around, and where we lived at, there was a few that were well known, especially on the boulevard. So anyways, we went to this one, was probably like the least famous out of them all, but there was this stripper there that she had a talent. And I've seen it, so I know what happens, where she would stick a ping pong ball in her vagina and she would shoot it across the fucking
That's
stage.
an urban
right?
legend. That's an
no,
urban
I've seen
legend.
it. Like, I was like, she literally does. So we seen this shit. We'd go there. We'd get all fucked up, drunk, da-da-da. So years go by. I have my kids or whatever, and next thing you know, I start involving myself and I start coaching soccer. And then, sure enough, one day one of the kids come in and his mom walks in with him, and there she is. And she had a name. I'm not going to say it right now because I don't know how far this will go or whatever. But yeah, but as soon as I saw it, my wife and we looked at each other like, what the fuck You gotta be kidding me.
I have one story that involves you at that exact strip club. Probably not that night because I don't remember ping pong ball shooting out.
Yeah.
But it was a bunch of us. I know my wife at the time, we weren't married, but we were there, and you were there, and we were talking to the bartender, and you were showing her a picture of your kids. Somehow the bartender talked about kids, right. But you had these small
Phil.
I have a weird feeling. In my wallet.
In your wallet, it was like just like a 1 inch by 1 inch like. It was a two very small photos.
I know what you're talking about.
And she goes, "Oh, they're adorable. Let me show you a picture." She says, "Let me show you a picture of my kid." And she goes behind the bar and rips the tiniest piece of paper off a napkin, just like the tiniest corner. Like it goes over. It shows him these 2 tiny pieces of paper. And you were so pissed.
It's probably it.
It was so quick.
Funny as
It was so funny. It was so quick, and they were these tiny pieces of paper. I mean, they were so small. And she put them on her pointer finger. She's like, "Here's a picture of my kids."
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's what it is. I guess the photocopier got stuck on one side for those pictures. I don't know.
It's so fucking funny.
I mean, what was I supposed to have? A fucking Bible in there?
No, like your pictures, like they I don't remember how small, but they were like remarkably small.
I think I cut them out literally so like I could fit them in there.
You just cut out their face. Like it was like
I don't know.
It was just their face, like the Kool-Aid man.
Fucking bad.
He like took a wallet size and like just cut. It was just funny. Like you had, it was just she was so quick with it, and it was just right on point, man.
Hey,
it was
look,
so fucking funny.
Give her credit. She's probably a fucking dopehead now, fucking bitch.
Oh gosh.
Who talks about kids at a fucking strip club? Anyway?
Well, that was probably
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like you can never tell when you're there if they're just humoring you,
right.
You know, or if she's just so bored, you know, like that she's actually having a conversation
to work,
right?
So.
God, we could do 50 shows just of my stories.
We hope to get to all of them.
That's why we want you back as much as possible, Phil.
You don't care, fuck it.
We ended strong. It was a great week. Follow us on all the socials if you feel like it, and you know, whatever. If you find some joy, you know, spread the joy with some of your friends.
Yep, and leave us a review if you're feeling saucy.
I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
I'm cousin brother Phil.
That would have been your time to go, cousin brother Phil.
I'm still disappointed from the intro.
Well, do a strong outro. Give it to us. Give the people.
No, I'm good. That was it.
All right.
Cousin brother Phil.
Watch out, cause I'm here now and I'm staying. Claws out, this the fight that I've been craving. I know there's something inside of me, but it's been masked by fear and anxiety.